Yes. No. All right, kids. So, did we get that down? Is it?
Oh my God.
Good. Go. Now, you gotta look at what people. Now, this one, pay attention, right? Because this one's got a lot of moving parts. Jasmine is the one that you see right here, right? So when I say Jasmine, this is the woman that I'm talking about.
Our men's teacher was made here, in this factory, in Bangladesh. Here's one of the people who made it.
এরপরে মিলানোর পরে সোল্ডার করবে আবার লাগবে এখানে টপ স্টেজ হবে একটা
Our women's teacher was made here, in this factory, in Colombia.
Comienzo para conseguirla. La punta es lo más importante de la camiseta. Es lo que le da la apariencia a la camisa.
Doris and Jasmine share a job, but they're separated by the economic realities of the countries they live in. Bangladesh is much poorer than Colombia. And the role the garment industry plays in Bangladesh, the role of our t-shirts, is very different.
I can send you a filled out modified
Jasmine Akhtar lives with her brother, sister-in-law, and roommate in a tiny rooming house. There's no running water, just a gas stove to cook. There's a small TV and a bookcase that holds all her belongings. She leaves for work at 7 a.m. each day, 6 days a week. She makes one of the lowest wages in the world, about 80 bucks a month. Jasmine has been working in clothing factories since she was 16 years old. And she is not alone. 4 million people in Bangladesh work in the garment industry. It's doubled in from a decade ago. It raises a question. What has driven 4 million people to work long hours
Yeah, I'll see what I can
for some of the lowest wages in the world? To answer that question, we went back with Jasmine to the village where she grew up.
কেউ ভালো সুস্থভাবে চলা অবস্থায় কেউ কখনো গার্মেন্টে যাবেন কারণ আমি যেরকম আছি এরকম সবাই
A lot of garment workers come from villages like Jasmine, where people worry about getting enough food to eat and sometimes die. And where girls are seen as a solution, find a husband.
They say girls are seen as a what? Economic burden. Economic burden is a fancy words. What do you think they're talking about?
Cost too much money to,
There's going to be a cost associated. You who? Didn't you need to go so bad?
I don't know if you're planning on answer the question.
You can answer that too.
Wait, what was the question?
Economic burden mean?
Did Hunsaker ask you a question today?
It's gonna be bad for the economy because it takes more money.
Keep on.
Is that
Did
right?
Hunsaker ask you a question today?
It's a burden to the
Well,
economy.
what was it?
That's what it means to support your daughter. But finding a good husband costs money, a dowry. It's in Jasmine's family.
What's a dowry?
wait for the wood.
Jade.
It's money they have to pay to the family to get married, I think.
Yes. And then whose family pays it? The bride. Now, what's similar to that in American culture? Cook, what'd you say?
Female's parents paying for the wedding.
Yes. Are you familiar with this?
No.
A lot of times the bride's parents pay for a good chunk of the wedding.
That's like a relative situation.
Her older sister's dowry sent the family into debt.
আমার থেকে ঋণ পাবে প্রতিদিন ঘরে আসবে একটা লোক তখন আমার ভিতরে একটা জিদ আসবে কি রে আমরা তো ঘরে আছি বেগার আমরা কেন থাকবো আমরা শহরে গেলে তো অনেক টাকা ইনকাম করতে পারবো তখন আমার জিদে আমি শহরে গেছি যাওয়ার পরে আমি চাকরি করে মা বাবার টাকা দিচ্ছি হেল্প করছি আর কি যায় আস্তে আস্তে সব ক্লিয়ার হয়ে যাবে।
This was Jasmine's trade-off. Long hours, a monotonous low-wage job. But in a factory, she says, that feels safe, better than others she's worked in. An improvement, however slight, over a life of even more crushing poverty.
They have masks on. This is before COVID-19. Why do you think they have masks on?
They don't tell with fumes.
Get closer, air pollution. So you're doing stuff like shirts and cloth and whatnot, you can get a little bit of particles in the air. You don't want to breathe that in all day.
In a village.
Then you're going to show some graphic stuff here if you're not going to see it, all right?
In the middle of our t-shirt project, the worst garment industry disaster in history happened in Bangladesh. The factory collapse at Rana Plaza. Suddenly,
So the factory building did what? Collapse.
the world was considering questions that we've been considering. Who are the people that make our clothes? What are their lives like? More than 1,000 people died that day. They died
How many people died? Over 1,000.
There's a lot of people working
seeking
on
the
this
same
job.
things that Jasmine was seeking. A few more calories in their diet. The chance maybe to pay off a debt. They died, in other words, trying to make the same trade-off that Jasmine had. A life of extreme poverty for one slightly better off. Our women's t-shirt was made in a country with a much more advanced economy, Colombia. Things there are different. Doris Restrepo lives there with her mother in a small apartment. And she supports the two of them on the salary she earns at the factory where our shirts were made.
Yo me imagino que las personas que van a usar esa camiseta son personas de Estados Unidos, gringos, gordos. Me imagino las personas gordas porque las camisetas que hacemos son como inmensas y ahí sabemos que es para personas gigantes.
What's Doris saying?
For fat people.
Because the United States
That's for you.
is one of the countries that has the most what of any country in the world? Obesity. Now, what's that? Now, Jasmine and the other woman, how do their lives look different already?
One's poor, one's poor.
One that looks like they have more money than the other, right?
Doris makes almost 4 times what Jasmine makes in Bangladesh. And
Doris makes how many times what?
Poor.
What a difference.
And imagine a life outside the garment industry. Doris has a small side business selling pastries door to door and dreams of one day opening her own business.
Pienso que si Dios quiere y todo me sale bien para este año, es el último en afición.
In Colombia, the garment industry is just an industry. But in Bangladesh, it's a social upheaval. Millions of women like Jasmine, living lives that just 20 years ago would have been hard to imagine. Lives filled with new risks and new possibilities. Most of the money Jasmine earns at the factory, she sends home to her family. But she keeps about $10 a month for herself. For food, or maybe an impulse purchase on her one day off a week.
Yep.
We talked to both labor activists and factory owners about the impact of our t-shirt on the lives of people in Bangladesh. Is our shirt providing opportunities for people like Jasmine, or is it taking advantage of the desperate population? Both the activists and the owners told us the same thing, that the worst possible outcome from tragedies like the factory collapse at Rana Plaza would be for the garment industry to leave Bangladesh altogether. What they don't agree on, what they're fighting about right now, what more needs to be done to improve the lives of workers in Bangladesh? And what does it all have to do with the price of our t-shirts?
All right. Jasmine, Doris, how are their lives similar?
They're both shirt workers.
What?
Shirt workers.
They work in the garment industry, right?
Shirt work.
How are their lives different? Okay, a narrow niche. Africa, live in different countries. One is in Bangladesh and the other one's in Colombia. Jake,
The places they were in.
Jade, excuse me, Jasmine is exactly where initially were, not sure where, across the country they had the Rana Plaza collapse, right? Doris, how did the conditions look at where she was?
Had all the problems. And they were all the time.
Doris had, it looked more like somewhere around here, right? So they're different. The wages are different too. Now, at the end of the video, the argument they were talking about, did anybody catch it? Did anybody catch the argument at the end? Maddie, did you get it? Jade,
Well, what can be improved? Like, how can they improve?
how can they improve it? You know, this is right before that.